breach attack simulation, living off the land, Cisco Secure Cloud Analytics, network service discovery. This one's going to be all passive and audit focused. All right, we're going to leverage ChatGPT for this one. We're going to get a little bit creative and leverage the ability to use the assets capabilities to do some reconnaissance. Here we're going to use PowerShell script that scans the networks for open ports. The range is going to be 192.168.255.0/24, and it should scan for only major ports. This must use the latest PowerShell capabilities native to the tool. Please provide a line-by-line detail of each section of the script. Sure, we could have Googled this, looked around, but let's leverage some of the AI stuff that's available to us now, and let's see what happens. So here we go. It's starting to create it, defines the IP range. There's the ports that it's identified. It's going to give us a complete script, and hopefully it works. If anything, maybe it's a small tweak. Then it gets into the description of what's taking place. So if you're not familiar with PowerShell, this is going to give you the details, right? The first one defines the IP ranges. The next one is around the ports. Any open ports, we're going to store them, and then we're going to loop through that range of IPs. Then for each IP address, we're going to loop and leverage each one of those ports and identify the open ones. And it goes on to provide a full description of what's taking place with the script. So you're learning as you go. Pretty neat. Now that we've got everything here, let's go ahead and copy our code and let's check it out. Does it actually work? Let's jump back into one of our assets. And here I'm just using Windows PowerShell ICE, and it shows an error. And it's just saying that you should use a delimiter for IP and port on line 26. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll add it in. So not bad. It looks pretty good so far. Let's try it again. And it appears to be running. Pretty neat. So we had to make some small modification, but PowerShell guided us through what was wrong with the script. So let's go ahead now and take that script and dump it into one of our breach attack simulated systems. We're going to run this through. We're not looking at the client here. We don't care what the client does. We're just scanning the network to find out whether or not the network has the knowledge to determine that something is happening that maybe shouldn't be and alert us on it. So it's going to take some time. We're going to let that scan through. It's doing its magic. Let's jump into Cisco Secure Cloud Analytics, and we see an alert right away. We didn't have to go and look at the dashboard. We saw that alert flag, and we can jump into this internal port scanner. It gives us a description, right? Scanning activity is often associated with a compromised host that is searching for data or other hosts that are infected. And here's our MITRE tactic, discovery. Again, gives us a description. We can pivot to MITRE attack framework, and we see that the actual technique being used, network service discovery. And again, the goal here is for the adversary to understand the environment and services that may be operating in it. And again, we used ChatGPT to create a PowerShell script that we executed on the endpoint itself that may have been compromised. Now we're looking at some of the details of the flow analytics that we've captured here. Anyways, all good stuff. Every single connection event took place, has been captured. We've got the alert. We know that this is taking place. We've aligned it to MITRE. We have detection capabilities in play today. Now, we could have used stuff like secure endpoint and firepower and a bunch of other stuff to mitigate this scan. But here nor there, do we have the ability, if our controls fail, do we have the ability to detect it? And we do. This was just showing you another way of getting back to that alert from the dashboard. It showed on the dashboard that there was an alert. We just pivoted quickly into it. Here's all the details again. We've already seen this. Pretty neat. Now, one thing at Cisco that they've been doing and they've been focused on is including MITRE everywhere. So it's all about elevating our ability to defend. In September of 2022, you can see they've added a bunch of MITRE ATT&CK tactics and techniques, mappings to Cisco Secure Cloud Analytics. It's everywhere. It's inherent within the platforms, and it's important for us defenders to understand it and leverage it to our advantage. Anyways, pretty neat stuff.